All right, I'm about to go to sleep, but I did want to say some words before I went to bed. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I guess you could say pontificating. I don't know if that's the correct use of that word, but I've come to the realization that I am in a very awkward and pretty much messed up situation, in the sense of I have a choice of two things: either I give up on the black community and I essentially change my bloodline white, or I stay in the black community still as an outcast. Well, actually, no, I can't even say that. I really can't even stay in the black community because black women aren't going to follow me and do the things that it is to have an intact family structure, you know? And here, I'm gonna play this thing. Like I was listening to another Willie Pete video, I want to play this clip, and it may sound awkward because I edited out the cuss words, but listen to this clip real quick.
Right? I talk about all the matriarchal and all the crap that sisters is on, and I highly doubt that I'm gonna end up with a sister. Like it's fucked up. I see why Cap is single and never got married, because it's like you can't make it work with sisters, but at the same time, you don't want to be that nigga that's out there sending that powerful message that, white women are better, or that white women look better, or that there are no black women that look good, or that this is what you covenant, right? So it puts you in this fucked up place.
Yeah, so like that's the situation. Can't be in the black community because the well-to-do black women want to do their own thing, and you know, go out there and work a job. They're on the feminist stuff. And you can't talk to them about anything. They're on the feminist stuff. And then the ones that aren't are I'd be more or less Captain Save-A-Ho. It's like, all right, I'll take you and your kids and, bail you out of your situation, to which you'll probably just end up fighting with me in the long run after I bail you out. But, all right, I bail you out of your situation, and now I have to take care of some other man's kids and take on a responsibility that, should be that of another man, but, I have to keep it black. It's like, okay, whatever. But, as Willie Pete said in some earlier videos, and I'll probably do a separate video specifically on this topic, but the one drop rule, I could get with a white woman or a woman who's not of my race. And since white women are the most, abundant outside of the black race, that's probably where I'll go. And they're the community I was raised in. They're the community with all the wealth. So why not? From a logical, tactical standpoint, that's where you would go. So I get with a white woman. I have biracial kids, and the biracial kids end up going with white people because that's where the wealth is, and they're gonna look me in the face and say, Dad, well, we're half white, or society, we're half white, so therefore, if we go with white people, we're not self-hating like what everyone says about our father. So you have that, and then you have the whole aspect of, okay, well, my biracial kids are gonna go with white people, and they're gonna have more white kids because by that point there'll be three-fourths white versus half black, like what they'll be. And it's like, okay, all right, I just turned my direct bloodline white, because again, with media promotion of white, of just white, they're not going to want to be with black people. And, they're not going to see the well-off black people who help run Black Expo. No. They're going to see the Baltimore black people, the Ferguson black people, the the thug life black people. It's like that's not every black person. That's like saying every white person lived in a trailer. It's like, that's not true, but that's what the media will show. And again, no one, it doesn't matter what region of the world you're in. No one wants to be the second class citizen. No one wants to be the poor. No one wants to be the just out of luck minority. It doesn't matter. You can go to any region of the world, look at the out of luck minority versus whatever the majority is, and nobody wants to be that, period. It doesn't even matter how much they promote themselves. And for an example, and for evidence of this, I point you towards the Latin community. They have Univision, they have Telemundo. They promote the hell out of their women, and their women are gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, but nobody really wants a Latina woman, or they want it sort of a oh, I'll have one for the weekend. Kind of like what I hear them talk about with black women. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever. But nonetheless. It is what it is. But here's my take on that. Or here's where I personally have a issue. Okay? I keep it black, right? I keep it black. I marry a sister. Let's just assume that for some reason she doesn't have kids. All right? Somehow she made it through. Didn't have kids. College educated, right? And my perfect black woman. Let's just say I keep it black, perfect black woman. She's not gonna want to go live in the hood, okay? If she is a educated black woman, chances are she was also raised in the white middle class, so she'll get with my program. But then we're going to raise black kids in a white society, and now they're more or less, at least on my side, I can't speak for my hypothetical wife's side, they're now 2 generations away from the hood, and they're not going to ascribe to hood mentality, they're not going to ascribe to hood tendencies or anything like that. And again, we got the media promotion of white. We have the white surroundings. We have the white everything. So they're going to be highly suggested to go to white. So, it's kind of like one of those situations of it's either me or my children. Like who turns our bloodline white? Okay. And again, I'm using the hypothetical that I even find a black woman who is college educated and doesn't have kids and isn't on, the feminist stuff to even go with, and I'm not even go down the rabbit trail of, how, the white community is now being destroyed, and it doesn't really matter in the long run because, now that the white elites have successfully destroyed the black community, they're now going after the whites. So therefore we're kind of SOL, so out of luck anyway, but I won't go on that. I'll go just the current state. All right. Let's just say that somehow the white community rebels and it goes back to the way it was in the 90s and early 2000s. All right. So I get with a black woman, and that'll pretty much just delay the fact of, what generation does it. But at least by getting with a black woman, I make my family feel proud, kept it black. Black is beautiful, blah, 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 whatever. Okay. But again, that kind of just delays it, and that's in a perfect world. Dealing with actual reality and circumstances, that's not going to happen, right? Because again, black women want to do their own thing, and then that just leaves me with the single mothers, which I've sworn off single mothers. I've dated enough of them. Doesn't matter what race they are, they're all the same. In all honesty, they're all just trying to look out for their kids, and they're all going to act like they're the perfect women or the perfect woman, and they aren't. They all have their tendencies and pluses and minuses. And I get along very, very, very well with single mothers. Don't get me wrong, but once you start saying, okay, I'm the man of this relationship, I'm the leader, this is how things are going to be if we're going to be together, then that's when the no and I don't want to do that, and well, what about the kids? It's like, I've already taken the kids into account. It's like, or they want to see their dad. It's like, well, dad wasn't responsible, and I don't want them having an example of what a bad man is. Or should I say, I don't want the conflict of him being around, because again, it's one of those things of, oh yeah, a dad doesn't want to have anything to do with his kids until another man comes in, then all of a sudden he wants to step up and be a father. I know one chick who's like that. She's divorcing her husband and she has kids, and and he's so concerned about ruining her life that his kids are kind of like, oh, well, I still love my kids, but he never wants to step up and be a dad until some other men are around. Then magically he wants to come in and, well, they're not their father, I am. And but it's like, really, dude? Okay, whatever. But side issue. So there's those two routes. Now there's hop on the fence. Okay, I can hop the fence, get a white woman, have biracial kids, and again have them eventually go and again, biracial kids raised in a white community around white education, white society, white culture, white media. They're going to go for white people. Doesn't matter if I have a son or daughter. If I have a daughter, she's going to go for white men. If I have a son, he's going to go for white women. Now, yes, there is a chance that they find a black person and they hook up with, they could probably have kids, etc. and so forth. But here, let's be real here. Is that going to happen? Probably not. Okay, because let's just say there's another black family that tokened out. Okay, and they have a black son or a black daughter, fully black son, fully black daughter, and my biracial kids try to date them. Okay, that other family is going to now accuse their own children, probably, very, very, very likely, of, the self-hate, of the, oh, well, you just want them because of one drop rule, they're black, even though they're white, and you just don't want to be anything black, and then they're going to be discouraged from dating my children, that my children are going to get a chip on their shoulder about black people. They're going to come to dad like, Dad, why are black people on this? Then I'm going to try to explain racism to a bunch of kids who don't understand, who are raised in a white culture, and then it's going to be, that doesn't make any sense. Well, forget it. Mom's white, so we can date white people because we are white. We're half white. So just forget black people, and oh well, we watch BET and we've seen what's on there, so we're good. We'll go with the better half of our race. We see why dad married mom anyways. Okay. It's like, great. Now it's like, it's like he can't win for losing. And it's like, all right. So then that happens, and it's like, all right. This really puts me in a bind. And the reason why it puts me personally in a bind is because it's like, I come from obviously a black family, and all the stereotypical black stuff, it can be found somewhere in somebody, both good and bad in all honesty. So it's one of those things of, do I insult my great grandparents' generation by hopping the fence, getting with a white woman, and having biracial children, and quote unquote, I won't say quote unquote, selling out, Uncle Tomming, just any other derogatory term for metaphorically backstabbing the black community, or, and which that presents two dichotomies as well, because it's like, if I do that on sort of a wealth and coming out of struggle way, I'm really helping by doing that. But at the same time, with all of the self-hate accusations and the anything but black accusations, I'm not helping this current society. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, if I keep it black, I don't really win, because I can't even keep it black really to begin with. Or I essentially turn it white, and then I insult all the people who've come before me who have somehow kept it black. Well, I really can't say somehow kept it black. They were all in the hood, and then when they got out of the hood, when I say they got out of the hood, they got out of the hood. Then I was born. My generation was born, and it's like. It's just like, oh, quote unquote, for our generation, now that we're equal, it's just like, oh, so it doesn't matter. And then you get with, someone outside the race, and it's like, so that was just a bunch of talk. y'all weren't really serious that skin doesn't matter, and and that's blacks and whites. That's not just that's not just black culture. No, the whites are on the same program. It's like, oh, we're all equal. It's like, oh, mom, dad, it's Becky coming home. Mom, dad, this is Jamal. It's just like, oh, hi there, Jamal. Sit on the couch. Becky, can we see you in the kitchen? It's like, mm-hmm, yeah. We're all equal until Becky wants to date Jamal, right? Yeah, okay. And vice versa. Hey yo, mom. Hey yo, dad. This is Becky. Talking about, yeah, it's my boo. Oh, okay. Hi, Becky. Jamal, can we talk to you in the other room, or all right. We don't be here. Here comes the little head twist. It's like, oh, yeah. I thought we were all equal. Oh no, that's just what we all tell each other. But secretly, we're still holding on to 19 or 1800s racism. It's like, oh goodness gracious, America, just the biggest hypocritical country. I always got something to say about somebody else, and our house is dirty. But yeah, I'm not even gonna get off on that. But yeah, that's kind of where my head's at right now. It's like, what do I do? I feel like if I get with a white woman, or just anything non-black from the culture of my generation, I feel like I'm kind of backstabbing the generations before me that really took pride in being black and going through the struggle and keeping it black and all this other stuff. I feel like I'm insulting them if I do hop the fence. But if I don't hop the fence, then I personally have to sit here and struggle and try to make something not work with with a black woman who's just always going to sit here and fight me. And a house divided never prospers. I mean, the heck, that's biblical. So, it's like, all right, well, whatever. And most people, and I know there's always there's someone out there. No, there isn't. I did minority engineering, minority uplifting, minority, name a minority program. I've done something like it. And it's always the same thing. It's, you got like 20 or 30 dudes and like 5 chicks. And, it's like, like I did a minority group thing here in Indianapolis. And while I love the group, oh my goodness, I love the group. I love what they do for black boys to turn them into black men. I love what I love what they're all about. But they have a sister program that does the same thing for the girls. Here's the bad thing. Every class of boys they have, it's always 30 plus boys. Every class of girls, it's like 10 girls. So it's like, all right, well, that's 10 girls for 10 boys. What about the other 20 dudes? Well, they're just so out of luck, because what they do for the boys, they also do for the girls. So they're kind of making compatible couples here, but the boys severely outnumber the girls. So it's like, all right, if 10 black dudes get with the 10 white, or no, sorry, if the 10 black boys who are raised in this program get with the other 10 black girls who are in the other program, and that's again assuming that the black girls or even want the black dudes, because I can tell you right now they don't want the educated lames, the what is it, like the nerds that like just the all of the reasons that black women who are about anything say that they don't want to date black guys like me who are about something. Just name an excuse. So like let's just say that all of them somehow have this epiphany and waking up, and they don't hop the fence to white men or another race of men, and they all want to get with the black guys who come to this program. All right, well, all right, where does that put the other 20 black dudes? It's like, no, all 30 of those dudes can't marry and have kids with all 10 of those women, or if somehow that happens, the other 2 guys per girl have to sit here and deal with some other dude's kids. And it's like, then we're back to the current situation. A guy who has his stuff together is taking responsibility for a guy who doesn't have his stuff together. But again, if they all came for that program, they have their stuff together. Therefore, they're not going to get a divorce and break up, and another man's not going to have to take care of their children. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, so what are those other 20 guys supposed to do? They have to date outside the race because they have their stuff together. Therefore, they're not going to remain in the hood. That's just obvious. So what do? They hop the fence, either to white, to Hispanic, to Asian, to Indian, to anything other than non-black. But then they come from black households who were raised in the, keep it black and I'm proud, generation. And it's like, well, it's like, you trained all these boys and then no women to go along with them. So whose fault is that? And again, we're talking about the boomer generation who can never take responsibility for anything they do. So it's like, all right, what do I do? You know, like, like Pete said, you don't want to subscribe to this whole self-hate argument or help perpetuate the self-hate argument, but at the same time you want to have something for yourself, and it's like, what do you do? But anyway, I don't know. I'll think more on this, and I don't know if I'll post another video about it, but that's just something that's been on my mind lately. Anyway, this is John from the Gen XY. I'm out.